Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, / early evening. Here we are on the
Matty Highland
Smitty McQueen Sports Show. Today we got some great topics. We had a Monday Night Football game last night. We're going to continue our NFL talk with our power rankings, weekly power rankings, and then we will go into an MVP discussion in the NFL. Then we will switch gears. We'll keep it in the football world, though. We will continue with our college football rankings that we do every week. Tonight, another set drops, the second to last one, before we find out who is going to be representing in the college football playoffs. And then we go into the Heisman Trophy talk to end this show with our breaking news. Matt, get it started last night. Monday Night Football. What a game. Packers in a must-need win, got the win they needed. We both got it right. We're now 22-11 on the year, and we're above 500 by a lot.
We're at 750.
Yeah.
It's very good that we are picking our NFL matchups correctly because I am not doing so well in college football.
Yes, that's very true.
Aside that fact, NFL, it was a game that the score I thought was not going to be that low due to the Packers' defense not showing up the last month and a half. In a sense, they haven't been showing up. And 13 points, to only give up 13 points for that defense, I believe I am going to give them the credit for this game, or for stopping the Eagles, because Carson Wentz had an interception. He still had 250 yards, but Carson Wentz is a rookie. Yes, he's going through some growing pains right now.
Very much.
But he started out hot, and you would think most sports fans projected him to do decent this year, and he hasn't lived up to that decent status. Because thanks to the Packers, knowing they needed this win, that defense came through in the clutch, came through this whole game, and just stopped them, basically.
Yeah, it was a magnificent win for them.
And Aaron Rodgers found his go-to guy once again, Mr. Devontae Adams, a new guy, and newer than, say, Randall Cobb or Jordy Nelson. So, with 2 touchdowns just to him. And Rodgers is still going strong.
He is. He's having a solid year again. And just because the Packers are struggling, he's not.
No.
I mean, people need to realize that. He was getting criticized tremendously when they were in this 4-game losing streak until last night. Aaron Rodgers has been putting up the numbers. It has been the defense, and the defense finally comes up big on the defensive end, giving the Packers a big, much needed win.
Do you think Nelson has lost a step? Good comment by Mr. Darren Feller here. Maybe.
Jordy, my thing with Jordy, I'm a huge K-State fan, and the kid's a Kansas boy. So, I mean, if you do not like Jordy Nelson in Kansas, like, and you're from Kansas, then something's wrong with you, because the dude was a walk-on. He's been just an amazing athlete throughout his whole career. Track, I mean, it goes to the track even. But Jordy Nelson's coming off a huge knee injury. I don't know if he was fully healthy when the season began, Matt. Do you?
Coming back from the knee injury, it's tough. I haven't experienced an ACL injury or any knee injuries, thank goodness. But it is tough to come back from that, and it's like with Macklin's groin injury, or even Justin Houston and not being that ready. I don't think he's 100%. I agree.
I don't either, and I think that's where that's where the Packers offense has missed, is that deep threat down the field. Aaron Rodgers is very, very, very good at finding the open guy downfield. He takes chances. He usually always has a guy, and so yeah, I think he'll get it figured out. Anyway, Matt.
Last 5 games, real quick, for the Packers this year. They host the Texans, host the Seahawks, go to Chicago, host the Vikings, and then finish the season at Lions, which may be, if the Packers can get through that four-game stretch with 3 wins, or maybe even 2 wins.
They're going to need some
depending
help.
on how the Lions are doing, yeah, they definitely need help. But this Week 17 matchup between the Packers and the Lions is in Detroit, of all places. Whoa, Lions can win the division on their home turf if they haven't done it previously or prior. And this could come down to that game. And Packers might sneak in.
I don't count them out.
The offense is firing on all cylinders. Aaron Rodgers just knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's not comparable really to any. He's on his own level. He always is in it. You can never count him out. I'm not counting the Packers out yet, because you look, 2 of the teams in front of them, they finished the year with those teams, the Vikings and then at Detroit.
3 straight division games in the season.
And now that Minnesota has an indoor field, they're not used to the cold temperatures. Yes, they have been in the previous years, but hey, you got to go to Lambeau in January, December, whenever. It's going to be brutal cold. I mean, we've seen games in Lambeau. It's not the easiest playing weather. Aaron Rodgers, he's used to it. Jordy Nelson is. The defense is what's going to give the Packers a chance. They've got to play like they did last night. Yeah, and Clay played tremendous last night. Matt, power rankings. You want to?
Let's give the ESPN NFL power rankings first, because there's some discrepancies between people and fans I've talked to today. Their power rankings that the ESPN came out with today for Week 13 have the boys at 1, of course. It's 1 loss. Come on. Then Oakland at 2. The Patriots slide down to 3. Seahawks at 4. Broncos at 5. With the Chiefs right behind them at 6. Lions 7. Falcons, Steelers, Giants to finish out the top 10. Your take, and do you agree with those teams, or do you have a different order?
I've got a different order, and I've got one that I feel like a team's getting set. Where were the Giants on that list?
I believe they were number 10.
Giants number 10 at 8-3.
They were 6th last week. They went down.
They were 6th last week, and they moved down to 10.
Yes.
Giants have a reason to complain here, and not just because I'm an NFC East guy. I mean, that has nothing to do with this.
They have played the 4th easiest schedule this season, according to Elias.
They are 8-3 though, and 8-3 in the NFL. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. That is a great record in the NFL. I don't care what teams. Every game is different.
Kansas City's 8-3.
Yeah. And so I've got the Giants in mine at 6 or at 7, excuse me. I feel like they are right up there. I think them, Kansas City, and then yes, I know fans are upset with the ESPN here in Kansas, obviously. Chiefs are still behind the Broncos after just beating the Broncos. Rightfully so. I understand why you're upset. My thing to you is it's power rankings. So, be upset at that. Be upset at the power rankings. But where you're going to win that debate is in the playoffs. That's when it matters. Power rankings are just, like we've said before, they're just bragging rights, blah, blah, blah. I've got Cowboys at 1, Patriots at 2, Raiders at 3, at 3, Seahawks at 4, Chiefs at 5. Then I got the Broncos. So mine's vice versa on the Broncos Chiefs with ESPN. But Oakland, I'm not sold on the Raiders quite yet. They are good. They are very good. The offense is good. They got a good couple pass rushers. But I just think New England right now is just too much. I think New England's going to expand their game of play here as the season comes on. Because every year you see that, where New England opens up the playbook as the season goes on. Oh, like they haven't used everything. And they always open it up. They bring in more plays. You start seeing that. Teams haven't seen them yet. And so which there's a lot of teams that do that. But New England, for sure, is known for that. Cowboys are 1 still. I'm not sold. I know I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not sold yet. I don't want to be sold until I see them get a playoff win. I'll say that. But yes, Chiefs should be ahead of the Broncos. I will say that now. But Chiefs fans, don't get upset because it's power rankings. Giants, I feel like, have the biggest argument this week if you go by ESPN rankings. 8-3, and you're 10. And the Lions at 7-4, Falcons 7-4 are above you. Pittsburgh, though, is a team to watch out for. They are getting healthy. 6-5. Now I've got them 10. What do you have? Do you have kind of the same as me?
I have a few that are switched. Dallas number 1, with the Raiders at 2. I'm getting sold on Derek Carr, and he can lead that team. I don't like saying that as a Chiefs fan, but he's good. Then I've got New England at 3. They take a sort of a hit with Gronk not being completely healthy, and yes, they have Martellus Bennett.
That was a huge sign. By the way.
Great. Just, I don't know. Tom Brady, he knows what he's doing like Aaron Rodgers does. It's just, I don't think New England right now, as of today, is better than Oakland. Then I have Seattle at 4, which they did play rough against the Buccaneers. So I kind of could have put Kansas City in front of them. I have KC at 5 just because they did beat the Broncos. And the Broncos at 6, right behind them. And then the Giants, Lions, Falcons, and Steelers to round out my top 10. Yes, the Giants have a reason to complain. Being at number 10, going from 6 to 10 is rough.
Yeah.
It's just
without
tough.
losing.
Yeah, and it's because I don't know the reason why, but I really keep saying this. Watch out for this AFC West. Even the Chargers, they can play spoiler to those teams.
They could still get in.
And like you said, power rankings don't mean squat, pish posh, because they are bragging rights, like he says. And I don't think I got sidetracked here off a comment. I'm actually going to say it right now. Trevor Smith saying why aren't the Bucks in front because they beat the Seahawks and Chiefs
Back-to-back weeks.
That's a solid point. But the first, 5 games they had was not good. And Jameis Winston has thrown too many picks compared to Wilson and Smith. And the AFC West, you got to watch out for these pass rushers. It'll come down, even though Kansas City's 3-0, they're still second in the division, a game back of Oakland. And these pass rushers, I would not want to be a quarterback in the AFC West or an opponent of any of those teams coming down to this final stretch of the season. And now with D Ford getting healthy, watch out. And power rankings don't mean anything really. And if I was an NFL player, I wouldn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I'd be focused on the game, focused on my opponent, focused on the scouting report and the film, blah, blah, blah. It's just to that point.
I want to add just a couple things real quick. Because, Trevor, I agree with the Bucks. They are an up-and-coming team. You look at their losses at Arizona, that was week 2. Everyone thought Arizona was going to be the team to beat this year. Then the Rams, that's kind of a bad one. But the Broncos were 1, Oakland, and the Falcons. 3 elite teams that are probably going to at least make the playoffs. If not, I would think all 3 of those teams will make the playoffs. Be watching Tampa. They have some tough games coming up. Division games. 2 with the Saints, 1 with the Cowboys. That's non-division. And then they finish the year against the Panthers. That'll be a tough game. The other team to watch out for, people, is the Miami Dolphins. I almost jumped them into the top 10. But the way I will determine that depending on the Giants-Steelers game this week and how the Dolphins do. The Dolphins, they are a team to look out for. As of now, they would be in the postseason.
And not the Broncos.
Yeah. If they won the rest of the year, if they went out, if the season was to end though today, they would be in. They've got at Baltimore, they got the Cardinals, at the Jets, at Buffalo, and then New England. 3 of their last 5 on the road.
That's a tough stretch.
It is, especially when they finish 3 against division opponents. The Jets, Buffalo, and then New England. So they've got a tough stretch. Ryan Tannehill's playing probably his best ball of his career. It's easy to say, I would say.
Landry. He's got weapons. Jarvis
Landry. Yep.
He's got the
Ajay.
running back. Jay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ajay. So they're a team that is on the...
They got a good offensive line, too, that helps.
Right on the line. So definitely watch out because Dolphins are coming up. Matt.
That is correct.
Let's go into MVP talk. I mean, it's way too early. We're 12 weeks through the season. 5 more left. 5 more games for each team. Who's your favorite right now, and why?
I have a list of players, of subjects, you could say, with Tom Brady. I know you might have other things to say, but Tom Brady is still a good quarterback. He's still playing great. Derek Carr, he is playing really good, really, really good in the toughest division of football. Zeke Elliott, best running back in the country. Dak Prescott, best rookie in the country, in my opinion. And then you have the Dallas offensive line. I gotta put this into context here. The O-line is what is helping Zeke and Dak stay clean in the pocket and or getting in the rushing lane. And then I got even Drew Brees. Consistency is what I like to see out of MVPs. Without Drew Brees, the series would not be much.
Yes.
Of those players, I would have to go for MVP, Zeke Elliott.
I've got 5 guys. Well, 4, but I hadn't thrown into my script. I was just gonna say it on the air. I think the MVP should be the Cowboys' offensive line. I really do. You could put anyone behind that line and you are going to do good. They are the most valuable to that team by far. Cowboys would not be having the success without those guys. Now, offensive line, it's sad because those guys don't get the credit they deserve. They'll never win these awards. They should. They should, especially after what you're seeing the Cowboys do with 2 rookies behind that line. I got Zeke Elliott at 1, and then I got Dak right under. And the reason why I got Dak is because he was a 4th round pick this year. And going into the year, we've seen how bad the Cowboys have been without Tony Romo. Their record has been horrid ever since Romo became the starter. Dak has taken over the reins. He has grew as a quarterback, as a rookie. And that helps with playing in the SEC, playing 4 years in college ball. So I've got him at 2, but I think Matt Ryan still and Derek Carr are right up there. Dak leads the league in total QBR at 86.0. Matt Ryan's 3rd to Tom Brady, who's 2nd. Yes, I think Tom Brady is going to be up there again. I really do. It's hard to say that because he missed 4 games.
39 years old, he's still producing.
Or
40, however old he is.
That's exactly a great point there. He's old and he's still doing it.
For a football player.
Yeah.
For a professional football player, he's old.
Had New England been 1-3 when he came back and he leads them on, you know what, they've lost 1 since he's been back.
It's a different ball game.
Yeah, then I would say by far Tom Brady deserves it. But as for now, and not just because I'm a Boys fan, Zeke Elliott's numbers are ridiculous. He's 1 yard away from 1,200 yards already in the year. He has 11 rushing touchdowns with 1 receiving touchdown. I mean, for a rookie, that is tremendous. He's definitely probably going to win Rookie of the Year. He might win with Dak. So, yes, that is my MVP talks. I know you guys probably got different ones, obviously, and your chances.
You can call in tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow you guys can call
Give us
in.
your take on that and this. That's a good time to bring that up.
That's why we kind of wanted to open it up today, so you guys, if we set you on fire, like you're upset about something, give us a ring. We're ready to go. We'll put on our boxing gloves and shoot some numbers. No, we don't want to fight with you guys, but no, you guys call in, give us your opinion. We'll be happy to argue some sports. That's what sports is about.
Analyze sports. That's what we love doing.
So yes, we will have that. Matt, tonight.
We'll switch over from the professional ranks to the college football rankings.
Mm-hmm.
The college football playoff is announced tonight. I believe is that 6 p.m.?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
I believe. So here in 43 minutes.
I'm just going to go straight up and say my top 4. Bama 1. Ohio State stays at 2 because of them beating Michigan. Clemson moves up to 3. Washington moves up to 4. Michigan goes down to 5, just outside the cusp of the cutoff line, with Wisconsin, Penn State, Oklahoma, Colorado, and Oklahoma State finishing rounding out that top 10. Bama is by far the best team in the country.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it is because they're undefeated, because Western Michigan's also undefeated. You can't, based off that logic, you can't say that. But Bama is playing good. Yes, they have the name, they have the coach. They are playing really good, and I've watched them, and I'm sold on them right now. I don't like saying that at all, but I'm sold. Ohio State played a good game. That's why they're number 2 over a number 3 opponent. And then Clemson moves up. Deshaun Watson. Man, is he going to be a good NFL pick here.
Don't count him out.
I believe next year if he goes.
Don't count him and Clemson
then
out.
even in Washington at 4 because they moved up because Michigan lost. And Browning's playing well. They've got something to prove. If they can beat Colorado, they will stay at 4. But if Colorado wins, we'll see a big shakeup. What is your take, Brandon?
I've got the exact same, and this is funny because we had our own rankings. We figured them out. We didn't talk about this at all or anything. I've got Bama 1, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, Washington 4. At 5, I got Michigan. 6, Wisconsin. 7, Penn State. Oklahoma 8, 9, Colorado, and then 10, Oklahoma State. Obviously, 8 and 10 play each other. You're gonna have 4 and 9 play each other. You're gonna have 6 and 7 play each other. It's crazy.
And 2 and 5 are not even in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah. What? So that's a crazy thing. I could see the committee tonight, and just because they want to put pressure on Washington, I could see Michigan staying at 4, them putting Washington at 5. To make Washington feel like they are being pressured to win that game. Obviously, they're already pressured.
And it gives them extra motivation to win and become that 4th team.
Yeah.
Possibly become that 4th team.
Obviously, yes. So, I could see it just because when 2, 3, and 4 lost, they pretty much stayed the same. So, this is going to be something fun to watch tonight. If you are doing nothing at 6 o'clock Central Time, make sure you tune in to tonight's college football playoff ranking show because it is going to be a good one. We will have our reaction thoughts tomorrow right before we come on with our fan day. We'll give those to you, and then we'll open up the lines for you guys to call in. I'm sure someone will probably want to talk college football with us. We are so down to do that. It's going to be interesting. This is probably the most hectic top 10 like college football rankings ever. Even in the BCS, going in to the last weekend of the season with your conference championships, it's gonna be fun, Matt. It's gonna be a blast. I'm excited to see who wins this weekend, so we can figure out who the 4 teams that are in it.
I'm glad that Mr. Darren Feller agrees with our top 4. That's good.
Yeah.
Maybe if he didn't, it'd be cool if he called in and had a little good conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be cool. That's what I'm saying. You should call in tomorrow, Darren.
Matt's already calling you out on that, so you better make sure you get into the show.
So, continuing with college football, we have the Heisman Trophy race. It is almost done, and the season's almost over, and we've got picks, our picks for it.
Yep.
Are like not finalists, but are contenders. I don't want to start out with the obvious choice. I want to say Jalen Hurts from Alabama, Jabril Peppers from Michigan, Deshaun Watson from Clemson, Jake Browning's in there from playing for Washington.
Yep.
You got Lamar Jackson from Louisville.
Who's the favorite?
I also have because I like the Big 12. I have D.D. Westbrook, the wide receiver for the Sooners, and just really, actually, the whole offense for Oklahoma, the skill players, they do it so well because of the offensive line helping them, and Pirine and Mayfield and
Baker's just
the
wide
other receiver Mixon, and they played so well. I watched that snow game with West Virginia, the whole game, and
we couldn't.
They played so well in the snow, and I know you might play in the snow if you're in Green Bay or New England or Buffalo or something in the NFL, so you won't play it in San Diego, but these guys have played. They've shown their heart this year consistently throughout the whole year, and I will let you say your picks or your contenders, and then I will make my selection of who I think deserves it.
I've got Lamar Jackson at 1. Yes, he's faltered some games here, Louisville and them. But I'm not saying he is a lock right now. I think everyone thinks he is because of his numbers. I mean, his numbers are raw. I mean, 51 total touchdowns, that's pretty good. I think Jake Browning and Deshaun Watson, if they have big games this weekend, could win the Heisman Trophy winner and steal it from Lamar Jackson because they play in a conference championship this weekend. Watch out for them. I really could see it happening. So make sure if you don't agree with me, make sure and call in tomorrow. I know a lot of people think Lamar Jackson's got this thing wrapped up. But I'm not sold on that. Jake Browning has 44 total touchdowns. So he's only 7 off. And who knows? Washington's offense can go hard whenever they want. They can go score 40 points easy. They did it against Washington State. Deshaun Watson, they're playing Virginia Tech, who's not very good. Deshaun Watson this year, 38 total touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, he's salty. A lot of people are not giving him the credit he deserves.
He is a good quarterback.
He is.
/ running back.
And then Baker Mayfield is up there too, but I don't have him in my top 6. I've got D.D. Westbrook instead for Oklahoma. The guy is a great wide receiver.
So he's a possession receiver. He is he's a deep threat for teams.
Listen to these stats.
I'm talking to the Chiefs for drafting him next year, please.
These stats are ridiculous. 15 receiving TDs on 70 receptions for 1,354 yards. That averages 19.3 yards per catch. That is filthy.
He doesn't just do it as a receiver.
Nope.
He has a punt return touchdown this year too.
Yes, and he's throwing the ball, but he didn't complete a pass. Jabril Peppers, obviously, he was up there. You're not hearing so much about him now, and I still think he's definitely a consideration for it. I've got him at 6, 72 total tackles, 47 solo, 25 assisted, 4 sacks.
That's just defense.
Yep.
He plays offense as well.
181 yards rushing for 3 TDs. So he is
He's a Miles Jack.
Yeah.
As a linebacker, running back duo, he can play everywhere.
So this Heisman race is it's up in the air, I think.
It really is. I agree.
I think that, yes, right now, Lamar Jackson, sorry, I was looking at comments. Lamar Jackson, I think, is the front runner heading into the conference championships, but do not count out Deshaun Watson or Jake Browning, because these two guys put up a classic show this weekend. Watch out. Kind of like when Manziel stole it from Te'o and Colin Klein, which I was not happy about, but he had one big game against Bama.
Yeah.
So, and they felt like that was enough. Darren saying Cleveland Browns are on the clock, so pick who you want.
Deshaun Watson, most
Yeah.
likely. My pick here, Jackson is the front runner, still, in my opinion. But don't be surprised if Watson takes it. He's underappreciated here because of Jackson having better numbers. But I think Deshaun Watson, he's a senior, right?
Yeah.
Being a senior, having those years, growing up and getting better each year, and he could be in contention. That's my sleeper pick, is Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
We won't be able to tell until the finalists are announced, the 3 finalists. But
I think after this weekend, we will make our 3 finalists before they announce it.
yeah,
But I think we have a pretty good idea after this weekend who the 3 finalists will be. I clearly do think
Yes.
that, depending on games this weekend. Matt, today there was some breaking news. Why don't you just start off with the first one?
the Mets, New York Mets, they re-signed 2-time All-Star outfielder Yoenis Cespedes. I'm not really good at pronouncing. Yoenis Cespedes.
Yep.
Who wears a yellow sleeve on his
Neon
sleeve on his arm.
Yeah.
To a 4-year deal worth $110 million, not a year.
Yeah.
That is whoa.
Yeah.
He did hit 280 this year. I don't remember the other 2 slash line marks.
And he was injured some.
He was injured, yes. He did win the Gold Glove over Alex Gordon last year in the AL, even though he did finish the season with the NL. Thoughts on this deal? It's the biggest news in the MLB today, really.
So far.
Yeah, it's
This is one of the big free agents out there this year. You got Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion still that are out there. I haven't even heard much rumors on them. This kind of was just a shocker.
Yeah.
I mean,
Came out of
yes, I think this is a great move by both parties. The Mets traded for Cespedes the year they made it to the World Series when they lost to the Royals. He was tremendous for the team. He is a great outfielder, a great batter, hitter. He can crush the ball. But he's a better fielder by far. His arm is just tremendous. I mean, he can pick up a baseball and lob it home, just one hop, a short hop to the catcher. It's remarkable.
He did miss that play in the World Series.
Yes, that is very true.
I have to bring that up because I'm a Royals fan. So
You definitely go.
that's just one play.
Yeah, I really think that this is a great move for both parties, though. And the Mets this year, they were banged up, especially with those great starting pitchers, and somehow still found a way to make it to the playoffs. I mean, the wild card game, but still, it was a great run for them. And they need this bat in the lineup to have another chance. Yes, they got the starting pitching. Watch out. This Mets team might be dangerous this year, especially if they can
Getting
keep
the
everyone.
bat, like that's a big.
'Cause they
bat
got
to
Jay
have in that
Bruce.
lineup. Yes. Another thing in the Major League Baseball world today, what were the Comeback Player of the Year awards for both the AL and the NL. The AL winner was also the Cy Young Award winner, in Rick Porcello, the pitcher for the Red Sox. Then in the National League, the Nationals player, third baseman, Anthony Rendon, he won it this year. Quality players. I do remember Porcello being hurt 2 years ago, and I think he deserves it a little bit.
I really didn't even know who the finalists were this year. It was
I've been
none of
focused on
our
football.
players' teams, yeah. So I didn't even know they were announcing this today. It was kind of like, oh, they still haven't awarded that yet. So
Yeah.
yes.
Any other breaking news?
Yeah. Then we had Grizzlies point guard Mike Conley out indefinitely with a
Ohio
back
State
fracture.
product.
Yeah, this is a huge injury for the Grizzlies. Big loss. Fracture in a back. That's gotta hurt.
Romo-esque.
So yes, he is gonna be.
Curveball.
This is definitely a huge loss for the Grizzlies. We'll have to see if it affects them. I'm sure it's going to affect them some, but they were starting to play good, getting their name up there to be one of the top teams in the West. And now this is going to set them back. We'll see if they make any moves. Go try to trade for a point guard now or anything like that.
They have a good starting five.
Yes,
Great starting five. Without Conley,
one of the greats, Vince Carter. I mean, one of the greats.
Marcusol.
Yep. And then, sad news today, another tragic event in the sports world. Brazilian soccer club plane crashes. Earlier this afternoon, it was reported 75 are dead, 6 survived the accident. I'm not sure if we have any more details.
I haven't.
According to ESPN, that was earlier this afternoon. So definitely a tragic event. Just sad news. That's got to be tough. I mean, pretty much wipes out their whole club. I mean, very sad deal. Matt, you want to look ahead to Wednesday?
Well, we've got the college football playoff reaction tomorrow from tonight's show. We'll have that tomorrow. Our fan day / night Wednesday.
Yeah.
Early evening. The NBA Wednesday night basketball matchups be very interesting. And then also breaking news and hot topics for anything that comes up.
And then we do have do we have a time yet for tomorrow?
No, I have a meeting, so I don't know.
We will let you know. Follow our Facebook page. We will let you know then. For Matt Hastings,
Matty Highland.
Yep, and Smitty McQueen, we thank you for tuning in this afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.